Sometimes in Excel, when you type a number in, Excel will mess around with it, change it, adjust it, alter its formatting because it feels that the number should be treated differently. Now you might have seen this occur already if you've been using Excel. If I was to put a telephone number in with some leading zeros and then return, what you'll notice is that Excel removes the leading zeros. Excel has said you've typed a number, you don't need those leading zeros, let's take them away. Now I don't always want it to do that. What I want it to do is to leave those leading zeros out because this is a telephone number. Now there are two ways of telling it effectively to leave alone what you're doing. First of those is if you do it as you type, you can type the single apostrophe first and then type in what you want. When I press return, you'll see that it left aligns. The little apostrophe is not on display. It is if you click and have a look in the formula bar, you can see the little apostrophe at the top there, but it's not displayed in the cell. And you get one of these little warning symbols that says it's stored as text. So that's what that little apostrophe does. It says, treat what I'm about to type as text. That's why it's left aligned it. That's why it's not removed the leading zeros. It's not trying to treat it as a numeric value. The other way of doing it is to actually pre-format the cell as a text cell by selecting the cell, going up to the little number format section here on the home ribbon, come down all the way to text, and then when you go back into that cell and type exactly the same thing, no little apostrophe needed this time, and return, you'll see the text remains on the left, it's left aligned, it's been treated as text, and we get the same little warning that says the number is stored as text. So you either put the single apostrophe or you pre-format that cell to treat all the contents as text anyway. You'll find that it does this messing around with your numbers, with dates as well. If we were to type a bank reference number, the minute I press return, it goes and changes it completely because Excel thinks that the little hyphen is a date differential and says, oh, September the 21st, 1993. Well, no, I didn't. I meant 09-21-93. So I need to do the same thing again. Either I use the little apostrophe and then type in what I want it not to touch. So 09-21-93. And you'll then see it gets shown and displayed and treated as, in this case, a bank reference number. Or I could do, as we did before, pre-format the cell to tell it to treat all the contents as text. And then I can type in what I want and it won't do anything at all to it. Now that pre-formatting as text is quite useful. But on the other side of the coin, if you open an Excel file that has some cells pre-formatted as text and you start typing numbers in and they start jumping to the left and they start not being able to be calculated on, then just check that someone hasn't done that they haven't selected the cell and set it to be text, because that will tell Excel to ignore any number formatting. So it's either the single apostrophe, which doesn't display on the sheet but does display in the formula bar, or pre-format the cell as text, just to stop Excel from manipulating what it thinks is a number, but you're using it as some kind of reference, such as a telephone reference, a bank reference, could be an invoice reference that is made up of numeric digits that Excel will then want to convert into a proper number by losing any leading zeros or changing hyphens into slashes so it suddenly becomes a date. So there's two little things to watch for when you're entering data into Excel.